I think one of the most dangerous things a person can lose is trust in yourself. And I don't mean confidence, I don't mean self esteem. I mean genuinely believing your own words. Because lately I've realized something that honestly scared me. Somewhere along the way, I stopped trusting myself. And the worst part is it didn't happen all at once. There wasn't some massive dramatic moment where my life completely fell apart overnight. It was small, quiet, almost invisible. Little promises that led into tiny lies. Things like I'll start tomorrow, or I'll go to the gym after work, or I'll work on my business tonight, or I'll write a script later. And at first it feels harmless. But that's the scary part, because when you break one small promise to yourself, nothing really happens immediately. The world keeps moving. You still wake up the next day, and your brain starts brushing it off. It starts saying, oh, it's not a big deal. I deserve the rest. I'm tired. I'll lock in tomorrow. But after months or years, those little lies start stacking up on top of each other. And eventually, something inside of you starts breaking. Not loudly, but slowly. I realized this recently when I started to work out again. It has been rough getting back into the gym. It's been rough physically and mentally because I realized I basically had to start over. I had so much progress done towards my goals, and it felt like it was all just reset. Like when you finally hit the amount of XP you need to enchant your netherite sword, and then you die and lose all those levels. That's how I feel. The worst part is I had so many goals that I had made so much progress towards. Things like calisthenic skills, handstands, L-sits, getting stronger, all those different types of things. And I genuinely meant it when I said I wanted to get better at these things and learn these things. That's the worst part. I wasn't intentionally lying to myself. I believed myself in those moments. But then I got a new job. My hours were all over the place and I got tired. And suddenly, missing one day at the gym became two, then three, then weeks, and then somehow it's almost been 6 months since I've been back to the gym. And during those 6 months, I slowly started seeing myself differently. Not as someone becoming stronger, but as someone that was unreliable. Someone who talks big emotionally for 2 weeks, then disappears. And what hurt even more was realizing other people started seeing me that way too. They would say things like, oh yeah, he's going through another gym phase. And that destroys you slowly because eventually you stop trusting your own ambition. You stop believing your own excitement. You stop believing in your own plans. And that starts leaking into everything that you do, not just gym stuff. Eventually, you'll start feeling this in your business, faith, content creation, relationships, discipline, your future in general. I would get home from work exhausted and tell myself, okay, tonight I'm finally going to work on my projects. Then I'd sit down on the couch, grab my controller, load up Minecraft, and suddenly the entire night was gone. And what's crazy is while I was playing, I wasn't even fully enjoying it anymore. I felt guilty the whole time because deep down, I knew exactly what I should have been doing. That's the worst feeling, knowing the direction, knowing the answer, knowing you're capable of more, and still not moving. That creates this horrible mental war inside yourself. You start thinking things like you're wasting your life away or you have so much potential and you're doing nothing with it. And then you see people online your age getting stronger, building businesses, making progress, actually becoming disciplined. And meanwhile, you feel like you're shrinking physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I think what hurt me the most was realizing I had every capability to become better. Some people are born with health issues. Some don't even have access to good nutrition. Some people have situations way worse than mine. And I still kept using comfort. That realization tears into you. Because eventually, the comfort doesn't even feel comfortable anymore. That's the strange part nobody talks about. The very thing you run to for comfort eventually becomes pain. And I think a huge reason this happens today is because modern life makes escape unbelievably easy. Everything is designed to distract you. The second something becomes uncomfortable, you can just escape. If you're bored, you grab your phone. If something's loading, you grab your phone again. If you're slightly stressed, you can go on Instagram and scroll. And I realized I had become addicted to avoiding discomfort. Not because I was lazy deep down, but because I was afraid. Fear is really what all this came down to for me. Fear of failure, struggling, embarrassment, not measuring up. Fear people won't even care. So instead, I stayed where things felt safe. Video games felt safe because I understood them. I knew how they worked. I knew how to progress. I knew how to win. Real life doesn't feel like that. Real life is uncertain. At the gym, you might embarrass yourself. Your form might suck. People might judge you. When starting a business, you might fail publicly. When posting content, people might laugh at you. Growth always comes with uncertainty, and uncertainty terrifies people. So instead, we negotiate with ourselves. And honestly, the excuses sound ridiculous when you say them out loud. Things like, I ran out of milk, so I guess I won't make my protein shake today. Or, one more hour of Minecraft won't hurt. Or, I'm too tired today. I'll start Monday. But those tiny excuses repeated over years become your identity. That's the terrifying part. Not one massive failure, but tiny compromises that have been repeated daily. And when you're in this negative mindset, giving into your excuses, at a glance, the future actually looks comfortable. That's why people stay stuck there. It feels easy, safe, and predictable. But then if you think deeper and you ask yourself, what happens if you live like this for 10 years? What happens if every day becomes, I'll start tomorrow? Eventually, tomorrow becomes your whole life. And that should scare you. Because if we continue on this path, we won't have done anything meaningful with our lives. And that thought destroys me personally, honestly. The idea of not being able to protect my wife or future family because I didn't hit the gym, or the idea of destroying my health because comfort controlled my decisions, the idea of wasting the abilities God gave me because I was too distracted to discipline myself, that's the real fear. Because I genuinely believe we are supposed to make an impact while we're here on earth in this life. We're all ripples in water. And when you constantly avoid becoming who you're supposed to become, that ripple weakens. You hurt yourself, then others, then the world around you. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I really believe this, because when you think about it, everything spreads. But thankfully, not just negative things spread, but good things too. Things like discipline, courage, and integrity spread as well. Right now, I'm trying to rebuild that integrity inside myself. And honestly, rebuilding sucks. Going back to the gym is rough because my body forgot what training feels like. Eating clean is hard because processed food is addictive and convenient. Limiting games is not easy because I'm in the middle of building one of the biggest castles ever built on survival. Comment below if you want to see it. Putting my phone away while I'm working on projects also feels uncomfortable because my brain constantly just wants stimulation. On top of this, I'm fighting excuses every single day. But this time has to be different because now I finally understand what's actually at stake. I don't want to live my life as a liar anymore. I want my words to mean something. I want to trust myself again. And I think rebuilding self-trust starts smaller than people realize. You don't rebuild it by saying, I'm going to completely transform overnight. You rebuild it through tiny promises. You tell yourself, like, I'll make my bed tomorrow. Then you actually do it. Or I'll do 5 push-ups before bed. Or I'll drink water instead of soda. But you actually have to do it. And eventually your brain starts collecting new evidence. Evidence that says, okay, maybe this person actually follows through now. That's how trust comes back. And over time, those small promises become bigger promises. 5 push-ups becomes 10. 1 clean meal becomes multiple. 1 workout becomes consistency. 1 productive hour becomes momentum. That's how you climb out. Not through motivation, not through hype, through repeated acts of integrity. And honestly, if you're watching this and this hit you deeply, you probably already know the areas of your life you're avoiding. You know where you're lying to yourself. You know what you keep postponing. You know the excuses you keep repeating. And I'm not saying this from above you. I'm saying this as someone actively fighting through it as well. But please understand this. The years of broken promises that seem harmless are not harmless. They add up. And eventually they start breaking you slowly. So stop lying to yourself. Start growing. Start small if you have to, but start. Become disciplined. Become strong. Become faithful. Because one of the most dangerous things a person can lose is trust in themselves. And one of the most powerful things a person can rebuild is that trust again. And once you do, your whole life starts changing with it. To close, I wanted to thank each and every single one of you for all the support you guys have been giving the channel. Our channel is now over 70 subscribers, and because of you guys, one of the videos on this channel recently got over 2,000 views and so many supportive comments. I created this YouTube channel just to speak my mind and spread positivity to an internet filled with distraction and negativity. I pray that each one of you takes something from these videos and uses them to become better versions of yourselves, just like I'm doing along with you. This is a journey we all must take, so I'm so grateful that I get to do it with each one of you. Also, a few last things. If you want to see a picture of the castle I'm building in my survival world, please let me know in the comments. And remember, the comments are an open space for you guys to share advice, issues you may be going through, or ideas you may have with like-minded people like you and I. Lastly, it would be an absolute honor if you subscribed. I couldn't imagine you not being a part of this channel's long journey ahead because it's only just begun. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless.